and boosted the scrum by bringing in George Latu. Pat Lam will captain Western Samoa this afternoon. The Western Samoan challenge always well received by the big crowd of the Basil Kenyon Stadium in East London. And a special welcome, of course, as we once again check the Western Samoan to the good people in Western Samoa. It'll be the middle of the night over there. Here are the men that are going to try and do the job for you today. Pat Lam captaining the side. And, of course, we look to the back three there. Mike Umanga, Brian Lima and George Harder. They were in quite outstanding form in the match against Italy the other day. George Latu comes in to replace Peter Fatialofa. And the Argentinian selection panel have rushed their best goal kicker, Jose Sile, into the side after the woes against England. This means that Lisandro Arbizu moves into the centres. And not surprisingly, the pack which for so long dominated England remains intact. In fact, Peter Schuster, the Western Samoan coach, reckons it's the best scrum at the Rugby World Cup. A look there at the replacements for both sides, and look down at the bottom of Western Samoa, their captain at the Rugby World Cup, number 21, Peter Fatialofa, sitting in the grandstand for this match. Well, some final thoughts on the match from former All Black Laurie Knight.
Well, I think we're going to see the Argentinian pack out-scrumming the Manu Samoan pack. They're 20 kilograms lighter, I make it, in the pack than Manu Samoa, which is about the same difference in weight they had with the English pack. But they succeeded quite easily in out-scrumming the English pack, and I'd have to agree with George Schuster. I think they are the best scrumming pack in the World Cup. Perhaps not line-out pack, but certainly scrumming pack.
Referee for the match is Dave Bishop from New Zealand. Not from Wales, as it says there. Dave Bishop from New Zealand, and assisted by Colin Hawke, also from New Zealand, and Joel Dumais from France. So away we go then in this Pool B match between Argentina and Western Samoa, and taken immediately by George Harder, and Darren Kellett drills it for the touchline, and we go to the first set piece of the game. Now this is going to be the interesting part, the lineouts and the scrums. We know how good Argentina are in the scrums. Let's have a look at the first lineout of the match. Well, Argentina get it easily, just over the 5-metre line and no more. Just 20 metres out from the Western Samoan line. And this is the Puma pack at its best, and Western Samoa will find it difficult to combat. Just 10-12 metres out. Just look at this strength and commitment from the Pumas. Once again trying to maul it away to the right. We've taken this from just inside the 22, and finally referee Bishop has blown the whistle, and it will be Western Samoan ball. The ball was not on the ground, it was held up. The ball became stationary, and Western Samoa get the foot in.
Well, I anticipate we'll see a lot of that from Argentina today. That's good structured international football. Keep it tight, drag in the teams that tend to be bubbly sides and bustling sides. Keep them tight, drive up the middle. Ultimately, the forced errors will arrive and the points will get onto the board.
Noriega on the far side. Mendez Corral, the tough man of the Argentinian front row. Well, there's not much in it in terms of pack weights. It really is a question of technique.
Well, I'd have to question the weights we've been shown. There seems to be some difference from the program. I think the Manu Samoan pack is in fact about 20 kilos heavier than the Argentinian pack.
George Latu on this side of the scrum for Western Samoa. Referee Bishop has penalised Argentina, and that will be a considerable relief to Manu Samoa. Peter Schuster there to the left, the man who has guided the Western Samoan fortunes since 1990 as Darren Kellett makes the clearing kick. Not such a good kick, but safely into touch nonetheless, and all the early pressure coming from the Pumas.
Right, well, we've got a Manu Samoa throw in, and they're going to have to throw it to the front. They can't afford to throw it at the back inside their 25.
Mike Meeker jumping at the front of the line out for Western Samoa. Didn't go 5 metres though. And so the Pumas have the scrum 15 metres infield. No score in the game so far. George Latu against Matias Corral. Rodrigo Prechel is the halfback for Argentina.
Well, these are classic scoring opportunities. A good international side will score 50% of the time when given the put in on a scrum 15 metres from the opposition line.
Another good scrum here from Argentina. Holding it in the back was the number 8 forward Santa Marina. But the scrum started to screw and the referee obliged to reset it. Well, it's not surprising here that the Pumas are taking Manu Samoa on in the scrums. The number 8 forward Santa Marina. Again, it starts to screw. Nu'u Aliatia is the halfback for Western Samoa. Still held by Santa Marina. And once again, it's screwed. Well, this is tough physical stuff in the first 3 or 4 minutes of this game.
It's conservative football, but it's the football that's going to win you international rugby and even the World Cup. In fact, today we're going to see a major challenge. Which is the better rugby? Does the expansive rugby win you these games or the conservative football? I think today's result will tell us that answer.
Right, the shove is on again. Scrum has gone down, and the referee Dave Bishop says that it was pulled down by the Western Samoan front row, and so here's the first penalty opportunity of the match. Some discussion here. They're going to go for another scrum perhaps. Well, goodness me, that's a very brave decision by Sebastian Salvat, because the penalty was given and in a very handy position. The 3 points were there for the taking, and it looks to me as though Argentina have decided to go for the scrum, as they're entitled to do.
Yes, I think they must feel they must dominate this very fiery and aggressive Manu Samoa pack by pulling them in tight and keeping them tight, because it is the sort of side which bustles and puts pressure on you. And if they can get points on the board, Manu Samoa are a confident side. They live off it. They play better when they're in front. So Argentina know this. They're tightening their game up. They're going to keep it tight, and they're going to stay down here. And we'll see them scrum and scrum and scrum all day, because that's their strength. The strength in the Manu Samoa side is their speedy 3/4. We know that. So obviously Argentina is taking the correct option here.
So this is the 4th scrum in a row that Western Samoa have had to defend their line. Big shove again. Santa Marina is the number 8 forward. Western Samoa buckle. Ball will have to be released shortly, and they'll get another scrum. Well, they've taken it up now to within a couple of metres of the line. Bit of a scuffle in the front row. Tension there already. Shem Tatupu there pointing at one of the Puma players. Well, a tense opening to this game with Manu Samoa having to defend.
It's a perfect opening for Argentina. They'll hold it here and they'll drive. They're going to play conservative rugby all day.
You can see there the scrum had collapsed, and there was no way they could keep on pushing. Now, one of the Western Samoan players has received an injury.
I thought I saw a bit of stomping on the side. I'm just surprised the line umpire didn't see that as well and come on and make a point. It just appeared there was a bit of stomping going on by one of the Argentinian forwards in that exchange.
Looks like number 3, George Latu, the player receiving assistance. Been a tough start. Yes, George Latu, in fact, has played for Tonga. And he's taken over today from Peter Fatialofa. Big decision made by the Western Samoa tour selectors. Well, the Western Samoan pack would know they're in the game.
Perhaps one of the faults here, I thought the other day with Argentina, was they, in fact, I think overdid the tight play.
Well, here they go again. This is only a metre out from the line. Good shove coming from Western Samoa. In fact, they've pushed the Pumas back. And the referee once again has given the ball to Argentina. Well, that was a good response from Manu Samoa, led by George Latu. The battle scars there already. They'll try again. This is 6 scrums now. Santa Marina is the number 8. Again, it's gone down. And what have we got? Dave Bishop has gone over and given a penalty try. Well, that's quite a sensational start to the game. Pat Lam, the captain, wants to know why, but the scrum was deliberately collapsed in the opinion of the referee, and a penalty try is awarded to Argentina by New Zealand referee Dave Bishop.
Yes, I think you'd have to consider that's the correct rule in that situation. The Argentina scrum definitely had the wood on the Manu Samoan scrum, and although it's difficult to know who took what down, it's not likely the Argentinian front row collapsed the scrum in that situation. The ground's hard and fast and dry. The sprigs can hold, so it is in all probability correct that the Manu Samoan front row did go down.
So the best possible start for the match to the Pumas. Jose Sile, the man they so desperately missed against England the other day when they missed 6 penalties and 1 conversion attempt. He is their best goal kicker and missed the game the other day. And he starts with an easy one. And the Pumas of Argentina lead Manu Samoa by 7 points to 0.
Well, I think now the Manu Samoa side, they really do have to play the expansive game. They're obviously not going to take Argentina on up front either, and the line out it appears as well. So we should see them spin it wide at every opportunity, and they'll live off the scraps which they're going to get from behind the Argentinian pack.
So the restart by Western Samoa. This is the first opportunity they've had to play inside Argentina territory. The penalty try given. And Argentina 7-0 ahead. Nu'u Aliatia. Pat Lam away for Nu'u Aliatia. Kellett away for Brian Lima. Outstanding talent on the right wing side. Now Western Samoa, they can make the game a little more fluid here. Kellett away for Bainga. George Harder on the left wing side. Harder! Oh, brilliant try by Western Samoa. What a reply. First time they got the ball in the game. And they've cut the Puma defence to shreds. George Harder, who got 2 in the opening match, has cottoned on for the end of a brilliant backline move and scored an outstanding try. Just look at the way they moved the ball across. The long cutout pass from Darren Kellett to Tubainga. He got rid of it quickly, and George Harder, one of 2 outstanding wingers in this team, is clean through the defence and under the bar, and Western Samoa on the board.
A magnificent try. Well, I'm not certain whether Argentina's got some defensive lapses or problems there wide out, or whether it's just Manu Samoan skills. But there we have the contrast in styles, perfectly shown in the first 10 minutes of this game.
Darren Kellett adds the extra 2, and we're back where we started. George Harder, a New Zealand-based player. And didn't Western Samoa come back very quickly from that early setback? The kick out by Abisu. And he's put his foot on the line. Dave Bishop was given a penalty, quickly taken. Western Samoa want to play this game at pace. Here's Junior Paramore. Storming run by Paramore. 5 metres on the Manu Samoa side of halfway. Kellett with an educated left boot. Well, this really is shaping as a cracker match between these two sides with contrasting styles of rugby.
The game is interesting. Notice the Argentinian forwards didn't commit themselves to Junior Paramore there. They almost let one man take him, and the other forwards automatically spread out, anticipating the wide, expansive game.
Mendes to throw. Beautifully taken down by Chiamanyanis. Pressel. for Jose Sile. And that's a very good kick by Jose Sile. Yes, he's an outstanding goal kicker. Free kick given. Pat Lam, the captain, just on the Puma side of halfway. Nu'u Aliatia again, the miss-out pass. Not such a good one. Lima. Interesting battle today with Martin Teran, the little left winger. And another penalty. They are going to play this game at real pace. Manu Samoa. The captain, Sebastian Salvat, is penalised. Darren Callard, who joined the Western Samoan side in 1993. Now, Peter Fatialofa is on the field. So one would assume that he'll take over the captaincy of the team. So George Latu, that early scrum injury is off. And Fatialofa is there. Nu'u Aliatia, just keen to get rid of it. Junior Paramore made one good run already in the match. Leo Falanico, good storming run by the lock forward. Up to Fatialofa, who makes an early impact in the game, but they didn't release the ball. Last man up there, Pedro Sporleder. These two sides, of course, met at the 1991 World Cup, with Western Samoa winning on that occasion by 35 points to 12. It was a match where two players, one from each side, was sent off. Sporleder was one. Mata'afa Keenan for Western Samoa. Peter Fatialofa, number 21, buried on the bottom of that ruck.
Interesting to see in the last line-out that Manu Samoa have opted for the short line-outs already. They've seen that they are going to battle in the formal line-out. They did battle when they toured South Africa here about 2 months ago, and they had to use short line-outs and quick thinking and ball skills to win the ball. So they're going to use those tactics, I think, for most of the afternoon.
Long kick for Sile. Oh, he's an outstanding goal kicker. That's what Argentina missed the other day against England. And Jose Sile kicks a long-range penalty. And Argentina now out to a 10-7 lead. A lot of points early in the game. Kellett pushing it forward. Now to Vaenga, elusive runner. 5 meters out from the 22. And knocked on by Argentina. So here's another outstanding attacking opportunity. We've only really seen the Manu Samoa backs in action once here, and they got the try.
Certainly, in this midfield scrum, they can go either way.
Nu'u Aliatia, clever little pass, infield to Lam. Quickly there to take it as Leo Vassar, number 4. Now, Nu'u Aliatia. Tupu Fa'amasino. Away for Mike Umanga. Driving on goes Fatialofa. Goal line not too far away. Now it's whipped away to the backs again. Good tackle put on Vaenga this time. Now Junior Paramore. Good hands from Vaenga. Mike Umanga. Kellett signalling out wide, but the penalties come anyway. So Darren Kellett will be given the opportunity to kick for goal.
Well, that's classic instinctive style rugby. They spun the ball wide, they ran out of numbers, but they didn't panic, slowed it down, and then suddenly, slowly, the support came across. It almost looked like they'd lined the black out, they line out back this way when the Argentinians pulled up offside.
George Laupepi being called on to come down to the field as we have another look at this. Manu Samoa getting good ruck ball here, running the big Argentinian pack around.
Interesting to note, there's only 3 or 4 Argentinian forwards committing themselves to that second phase play. It's almost as if they're anticipating the ball going wide. They're sending just enough forwards across to deal with it. The rest are spreading out, defending the line.
Regulation penalty attempt here for Darren Kellett. So he kicks a penalty in reply to that from Sile. And it's 10-all in this Pool B match between Argentina and Western Samoa. Quickly taken by the Pumas. Pat Lam, who made a brief appearance for the All Blacks on the 1992 tour of Australia. Giannis at number 2 in the line-out. Deflected from the throw by Mendes. That's the 10-metre line in Manu Samoa territory. Here's the outstanding flanker, Rolando Martin, number 6. He'll be running all day for Argentina. Now Creshell. The kick from Sile. Pressure on Umaga. Looking to start a counter-attack from right on their own line. Western Samoa. Now it's Brian Lima. There's never any question about kicking that, like Umaga was setting off. Now Nu'u Aliatia. Shifting it quickly. Ba'amusino. Junior Paramore's had a storming start to this game. 10 metres out from the 22, and they'll go again. Good hands from Lamb. Little pass off to Paramore once more. Shoveled on. Vying a harder. Room to move. Lisa Moval, the hooker, was there with them. 10-metre line Argentina territory. And a little knock on there by Western Samoa. Oh, exciting stuff, Laurie Knight.
Yeah, great period of football. We saw Sile put the anticipated bomb right up underneath the sticks, and again the instinctive play of Manu Samoa. Don't kick it. Let's use all the possession we can get. They nearly got away with it.
They were never going to kick it. Creshell. Sile. That's a pretty good kick. Awkward bounce for Brian Lima. Might be expecting a bit much for them to run here, but maybe they will. Umaga goes in to help. Lamb getting back quickly. And the penalty goes against Manu Samoa, playing the ball on the ground.
Yeah, well, that's exactly the problem when you have an instinctive, expansive game against a constructed, organised, formal approach. The forced errors will come, and if you're not going to take your options to get the ball out of your own red zone, then you're going to be forced into errors, and the errors will be turned into points. And I think that's ultimately why we will see the structured game beating the instinctive game.
You see the ball there being played on the ground by a couple of the Western Samoan players. Well, the strategy, no doubt, Laurie, is for the Manu Samoa players to run Argentina off their feet. And it'll be interesting to see where they are with 20 minutes to go.
Yes, on the other hand, I definitely think there's a policy decision in the Argentinian camp not to commit too many forwards to the rolling ball. They know Manu Samoa is going to spin it wide, perhaps rather than trying to keep it tight and punching up the sides. And if you watched 3 or 4 of the recent mauls, Argentina's only got 3 or 4 forwards there. The rest have been spun out defending their line. So it's certainly a game of wits and skills at this point in time. Another outstanding kick from Jose Sile, his second penalty goal, and Argentina back in front by 13 points to 10. It's interesting to all in this, but both sides have used the possession in the opposition 25 to maximum on each occasion they've been there. Argentina has scored each time they've been in Manu Samoa's 25, and Manu Samoa have returned the compliment. Back we go then for Darren Kellett. Finally controlled by Jose Maria Santamarina. Back for Creshell. Clearing kick made by Sile.
Now, here's a counter-attack coming up, no doubts. Lima shifting it across. Not a good pass. But Mike Umanga, elusive. Lamb gets back quickly. That's the key to it. The loose forward's getting back quickly. Nu'u Aliatia. Junior Paramore's been in everything so far. Number 7. 10-metre line in Western Samoa territory. Now Nu'u Aliatia. Little change of tactics from Kellett. Getting back is Kreschel. Pushing it down towards the corner, and just a slight misjudgment, and there'll be a restart from the 22.
Again, only 3-4 Argentinian forwards contesting that loose ball. The rest content to stand out either side in defence.
Thrilling start to this game. 13 points to 10. Western Samoa looking to move through to the quarterfinals with victory here today. Argentina have a bit more work to do, though. Mike Mika. Good high kick from Kellett. Kicked ahead by Fatialofa. Got it on the rebound. Peter Fatialofa's out there, and a little knock on from Tala Lisa Maivao. The big hooker for Maru Samoa, plays his rugby in New Zealand. Well, it's pretty even. Just a slight leaning in both territory and possession to the Pumas. Lamb waiting. Big scrum here.
This is the correct option by Argentina. They're going to hold it in the back and drive. They're going to try and pull those forwards in and tire them out. So we've seen a definite battle of different skills and wits here in this one.
Looks like George Latu's back on the field wearing jersey number 22 now. So Latu back in the scrum with the head swathed in bandages. Once again, the big grunt from the Argentinian forward pack. There he is, number 22. You can see George Latu back there. They've kept the scrum brilliantly intact. Look at that.
Yeah, that's superb scrumming. That's world-class scrumming. Manu Samoa is not a weak forward pack. In fact, I believe they're about 20 k's heavier than the Argentinians. But that is superb international scrumming.
Dave Bishop telling the scrum was finished and the ball was out. Therefore, Manu Samoa get the put-in. So they just carried it on a little bit too far here. But really a display of awesome scrummaging.
They did this also against England the other day, whereas they took it short 2, 3, 4 times in the roll, but instead of spinning it wide on the 4th or 5th time, they chose the option to keep it tight again. And I think they probably just overdid that a little bit, whereas the option was on to run it on the 4th drive, after the 4th drive.
Western Samoan front row under siege here. Latu is back. Mika has just been attended to. Quickly taken out by Nu'u Aliatia to Lima. They're keen to have a little run of the Western Samoan backs, especially out on the right wing side, where Brian Lima is up against the little fellow, Martin Teran. So the penalty goes. Do they take it quickly? They sure do. They'll get another 10 metres. Clever tactic.
Again, only 3-4 forwards in there from Argentina.
Oh, it's been lost. Chance here for Argentina. Kreschel. Oh, solid tackling in midfield by Tu'u Vaenga. There he is, the veteran of the 1991 World Cup, as Pedro Sporleda is down now. And there's been quite a high attrition rate in this game already, being played at high speed, especially from the Western Samoans.
Well, even though Argentina dominated the tight phases in both scrums and lineouts, we saw there that Manu Samoa have taken the loose phase 11-1. That's a magnificent performance by the Manu Samoa loose forwards, and certainly neutralises the benefit of the possession obtained in the tight phases by Argentina.
So offside play against Manu Samoa, presenting this opportunity for Jose Sile. 2 penalties already, and you can put down a third. Beautifully struck again. 3 penalty goals by Jose Sile, and Argentina now lead by 16 points to 10.
Here we see again the Argentina only had 3-4 forwards in that loose ball. They're not committing to the tight situations. They're rather in defence. That looked a fair tackle at this point as well.
Yes, he might have been up a little bit too flat. Taken in by Chem Tatupu, the Maru Samoa. Now Nu'u Aliatia hands it up for Junior Paramore, one of the outstanding figures in the game so far. Nu'u Aliatia, Lamb flings it away into the backs. Vainga can't hang on. Appeared to knock it on. Referee playing an advantage for the knock on by Tohu Vainga. "13 minutes to go in the first half. The match living up to everything we expected of it. Sile. Umanga looking for harder out on the left wing side. Instead runs it for Lamb. Little knock on though by the Pumas. Coming through was Christian Vial. Well, they're looking to move it at every opportunity. Now Lamb losing control of it. Kellett having to get back. Fortunately for Darren Kellett, he's able to get onto his left boot very quickly. Sebastian Arasaquoi, number 18. He came onto the field the other day against England. Some big men in this Puma forward pack. Sporlather, Honiss. Back to Sporlather, who grabs that one. Mendes, number 2. Good little dab. Away it goes for Martin. Now the charge from Sporlather. Losing control of his Vial. Now the counter attack from Manu Samoa.
Yeah, pretty much anticipated. Argentina totally dominated the front of the line out there. They haven't lost the ball thrown to the front, so I think we can be pretty certain they're going to toss it there all day. I think that, by the way, it was the first handling area we've seen from the Manu Samoa side a minute ago when they gave it away in their, on attack, and that's into the 27th minute. So for a side that's spinning the ball around, they certainly have great ball handling skills.
Federico Mendes. Suggestion of balking there. Some of the Manu Samoa players suggesting that to referee Bishop. Of course, Dave Bishop would be familiar with a lot of these Manu Samoa players who play their rugby in New Zealand. Kick straight down to Umanga. Not always a wise move with the counter-attacking ability of Manu Samoa. Now Lima makes it to halfway before finally he's taken down by his opposite number, Martin Terran. And the ball played on the ground by the Pumas. Now Darren Kellett is perfectly capable of kicking goals from halfway, but he's opted to kick for the sideline. Bit of a miscue from Kellett. Just look at Lima here. An outstanding player, Brian Lima. He was a teenager at the last Rugby World Cup 4 years ago, and he's gone ahead in leaps and bounds since then. Another penalty given from the line-out, and this is well within the range of Darren Kellett.
Yes, when you see backs of the quality of Lima and Vainga and Farmasino and Harding playing, you realise that rugby is certainly under threat in the Pacific Islands from the new Super League, which is due to take off next year. These players, you know, obviously would make a fortune of money playing league, and they have all the ball skills, all the pace, and all the class of any international back in the competition.
Well, he had a brief moment on the field, Peter Fatialofa. But they've got George Latu back out there. Brian Williams far left, former great All Black, of course. See the flags towards the top of the screen, just fluttering a little.
This is where your World Cup can be won or lost as well on these kicks.
So Darren Kellett just pushed it away. So Kellett misses, and it remains a 6-point margin between these two sides. Argentina ahead still by 16-10. Quick restart. Forces gathering in behind Umaga. Looks for support, gets it. Just on the Samoa side of halfway. Tuvainga goes in, plays halfback. Left behind by Fa'amasino. Well, just 1 or 2 mistakes starting to creep in now.
Well, I make that the second handing error in the first, 33 minutes. So I think the amount they're running the ball, I think you probably accept you're going to have occasional forced handing errors.
Kreshel away for Sile. Again, the kicking continues. We haven't seen the ball shifted at all by the Argentinian backs.
I'd like to see Manu Samoa at this point actually try a few bombs of their own and check the Argentinian fullback. I believe he's a competent fullback, but it's an awesome sight to have that Manu Samoa centre field bearing down you, knowing that the type of tackling they've got is probably the most aggressive in terms of impact in the world.
Christian Vial, the open side flanker for Argentina. Mendes, Giannis having an outstanding game near the front of the lineout. The ball just making it the 5 metres, the 5 metres required. Now the charge from Mendes, met and taken strongly by Tatupu. Kreshel, Sile, another kick. Shocker off the side of his boot. Beautifully grabbed though by the centre 3/4, Arbisu. Now the outstanding flanker, Martin. Chance here for Argentina. Mendes, Federico Mendes. And Martin Terán has dropped the ball with the line wide open. Well, the little fella had an opportunity there. But it's not over yet for Western Samoa. They've got to put the ball in, and they've got to get the scrum to hold. Lamb away for Lima.
I'd have to say I think that was a poor option there. They're under pressure in the forwards, and I think perhaps a pass to Collette and get out of your 22 has to be the name of the game at this point. This will go to the front and should be won by Giannis again. He's taken every single ball. He's taken 7 clean takes as I make it this half.
Mendes. Look at that. Another magnificent take by Honiss. Now the big, strong Argentinian maul. They've got to be careful here. They've got to keep it moving. Driving towards the line. There it is. Charged by Mendes. Lost it. Good, solid Manu Samoa defence. Federico Mendes, the former prop forward, loses the ball in the act of diving. Scrum holds. Clearance made by Tu'unu Aliatia. Not out. Chiratho, the fullback. Now it's away for Sile. They've got numbers. Almost intercepted by Harder. Standing well on the tackle. Now Vainga to Kellett. And they've done it well, Western Samoa.
Yes, I agree. I think even though they choose to run it from everywhere, I think there has to be a reasonable limit to the distinctive football you play. When you're under that much pressure in your 25, certainly in this type of game, you must just get it out of your 25 and kick it as far down the field as you can. And I think if they continue to do that, they're going to help themselves a little.
Ball there for Western Samoa. Nu'ualiatia, Kellett, again the miss out pass. Midfield thrust by Vainga. They do look dangerous every time, though, when they get that ball out wide.
There's a tremendous support play by all the Manu Samoa loose forwards. In that case, Pat Lam was right there to take that pass.
Took Manu Samoa about 7 or 8 minutes to do something England couldn't do in 80 minutes. That was score a try against Argentina. Oh, that's good control by the Pumas. Kick made by Sebastian Salvat, the steady man of the back line. Well, that certainly tells a tale, and most of those lineouts for Argentina have been won by Shaman Yanis. Well, this is untidy. Held up by Tutupu. They'll have to clear it quickly. Now Kellett. Darren Kellett, New Zealand base player, back in Auckland this season, having had a season in counties last year. Well, a penalty given by Dave Bishop. And I think that was on the... Yes, you can see the flag go out from Colin Hawke. So a report to the referee and the penalty given to Manu Samoa. Yeah,
that's taking the feet out of the Manu Samoa's number 2 jumper. And I think a warning given to the Argentinian prop.
Loose ball. Taken by Lamb for Manu Samoa. He'll have a real struggle getting that back. And with just a couple of minutes left in the first half, the Pumas have another good attacking opportunity.
Well, judging what they've done so far, I'm sure Sicily put another bomb up. He's not run the ball or spread the ball wide once in this half as yet.
Off the back goes Santa Marina. Good solid defence from the Samoans. 10-metre line, their own territory. And they'll get the next put into the scrum. Tough time on the bottom of the ruck for Junior Paramore. Former New Zealand Sevens player, Junior Paramore. A little attack down the blind side. Just nudged ahead for Brian Lemar to run onto. But they're just playing out the final seconds of this pulsating first half. 16 points to 10. Just 2 tries scored. A penalty try for Argentina. And a try by left winger George Harder for Western Samoa. Offside against Argentina. One last chance for the Manu Samoa side to have a good run. Paramore. Support there from Fa'amasino. That won't be 10 metres. They can go again. In fact, they might call Darren Kellett up here. It's on the 10-metre line. And that would be the sensible move just on half-time. And Pat Lam settles it right down and suggests to Darren Kellett that he might like to have a shot at goal as Peter Schuster and Brian Williams prepare to talk to their troops at half-time. Dave Bishop on that occasion picking up the Western Samoan or Argentinian forwards who came through offside. Just 58% so far at the Rugby World Cup, Darren Kellett. pushed it away to the right. So no goal from Kellett. And referee Dave Bishop sounds the whistle for half-time. Running repairs too for Diego Cuesta Silva. This man has been around in the Argentine national rugby side since 1983. Ezequiel Chiralfo, who made his debut in the match against England the other day.
Because I still make Peter Fadialova the oldest man in the World Cup tournament. He was born in July '59. I think Cecilion, the French number 8, was born in October '59. I think Fadialova is the oldest still in the tournament.
Well, he got another cap today, Peter Fadialova. Was on only briefly. So an absolutely vital 40 minutes for both of these sides at the World Cup. And let's hope we see a continuation of the pace of the game. And there it is, the breakdown of the statistics. You can see there Manu Samoa won the ball in open play 14 times to 9, suggesting that they're much keener on the second phase play.
Well, I think they're just getting there in numbers, and their loose forwards are certainly shady in the Argentinian loose forwards today, particularly Junior Paramore and Pat Lam. They're having great games. Again, those 2 penalty kicks missed by Kellett would have made the score 16-all, which is probably a fair reflection of the game at this point in time.
So Dave Bishop checking with Argentina. They're ready, and away we go for the second 40 minutes of this game. Kellett kicks it low, cleverly done by Christian Weil for Argentina. First charge goes to Rolando Martin. Once again getting their forwards involved very early, using the one-off play that they're very good at, just on the Manu Samoa side of halfway. Now Mendes standing wide. Again, Martin takes it up, 10-metre line of Manu Samoa territory. Away for Tehran. Thunderous tackle across on the far side. Good solid forward play here by Argentina. This is the real strength of their game. Held in the back of the ball again by Martin, number 6. He's a key figure in their side. Now taken to ground. And the call from Dave Bishop is a scrum.
Well, Manu Samoa very lucky there. They weren't given an offside in that ball situation. The loose forward came in from an offside position. But that's classic Argentinian football. Conservative football. Keep it tight to your forwards. They're dominating in the tight and drive it up the side down. Here, they'll hopefully, from their point of view, they'll force Manu Samoa into committing forced errors and turn those situations into points.
Mike Mika on this side of the scrum had most of last season off with a broken leg. Referee Bishop concerned as the front rows go down again. Enormous pressure. Held by Santa Marina to Crichel. Santa Marina back to Tehran, but it was a forward pass. Well, that was a nifty little move.
Yeah, again, they could do that because they dominated the front. They were able to just run the ball at will, take it left or right, and use the loose forwards off the back of the scrum.
Starting the second half as they started the first, denying Manu Samoa the ball. Free kick. Now Sile gets it Weil with him there. Crichel away for Martin. Never far from the ball, Rolando Martin. Next man up is Noriega, the man who got the try the other day against England. Taken off him by Corral. No number on his jersey now. Goal line looming. Ball on the ground. And offside play against Manu Samoa.
A good play by Argentina. That's exactly the type of forced error they would have tried to get Manu Samoa to commit. Put the pressure on the men, make them force errors to stop a try taking place, and then take your penalty. They've opted for the scrum on this particular occasion.
Once again, they've passed up the opportunity for 3 points. Well, last time they used this tactic, they managed to get 7 through the penalty try at the start of the game. Referee Bishop wants the scrums up a little higher. Now the pressure goes on. held by Santa Marina. Goal line is looming. Try scored. Try scored by halfback Rodrigo Kreshel. And Argentina make their best possible start to the second half. Tremendous pressure from the Puma scrum. Just look at it here. Manu Samoa on the retreat. Now the ball lands on the line. Dave Bishop says it's a try on the line as Pat Lam dives in and the try given.
Well, they're certainly confirming the suggestion that they are the greatest scrumming forward pack in the World Cup this year. This barge which they're using apparently is brought on by the hooker. Doesn't strike for the ball, but in fact the whole front row just starts walking forward, shuffling forward 3 to 4 inches at a time as the scrum half puts the ball in. So you have a good 8-man shove. But it's certainly extremely effective against a Manu Samoan pack, which is not a bad scrumming pack.
Rodrigo Kreshel, the halfback, scores the try, converted for a 100% record by Jose Sile, and Argentina out to a pretty good advantage early in the second half, 23 points to 10. Here it is again. Excellent control, and they've just got too much power for Manu Samoa, and it's the little halfback who does the job and gets the try. Manu Samoa denied the ball so far in the second half. They simply have not had it to play with. Nu'u Aliatia away for Kellett. Calling in Brian Lima. George Harder can't hold the pass. Play on, says the referee. There was no knock on as Lima's gone to ground. In fact, it's George Harder, I think. The Pumas complaining there was a knock on, but the referee said no, it went straight down. And now George Harder's in the war once again, having injured himself in the act of scoring a try earlier on. So Darren Kellett. There's the overhead pass from Brian Lima. And the referee said no knock on that occasion. You can see Harder's gone down. All is well again with George Harder standing there beside Darren Kellett.
Well, Kellett's had a good kicking record in most internationals been in. You'd probably rate him as about a 70 to 75% kicker international. So from Manu Samoa's point of view, let's hope he regains his form.
This one from a handy position. Drills it through. 10-point difference now between the two sides. Argentina 23. Manu Samoa 13. Just 6 minutes gone in the second half. One of the features of the Rugby World Cup so far in South Africa, the high-scoring matches. Already 36 points on the board in this game. Paramore leaves it behind. Kellett. A solid nudge. Oh, what a beauty from Darren Kellett. From inside or just near his 22. Kellett bumps it 80 metres downfield. Federico Mendes. That's another magnificent leap by Honiss. What an outstanding line-out forward he is. Kreshel away for Sile. Must have got a hand on it, one of the Western Samoan players, because it's Argentina's ball. Chairman Honiss. Free kick. Peter Parialofa's back there, number 21 for Western Samoa. Now Kellett. The bomb. Hook back. The kick made by Santa Marina. Harder and Umanga going back. Taken outside the 22 by halfback Creshell. Big kick downfield, and that's an outstanding kick. Taken quickly. Kellett gets back for Maru Samoa, and it slides off the side of his boot. Remember, this game is not being played at altitude, it's at sea level, but they're still getting prodigious distance with their kicks.
Well, I think what's important to notice too, that both sides are showing a very high level of skills. You know, there's very few unforced errors taking place if you compare it to, say, for example, the first 20 minutes of the Australian-South African game, where there were many unforced errors, particularly on the Australian side.
That's a lovely take by Leo Whanoniko for Western Samoa, their best line-out take of the match so far, carried on by Paramore. Now Nu'u Ariatia turning the Argentinian backs. Racing back is Cuesta Silva. Now a counter-attack from Argentina. We haven't seen too much of this. Now Martin Taran. No, in fact, it's Abisu. A real change of tactics here. Sebastian Salvat. Racing into the play was Chirato, the fullback. Now they can set it and control it, having run it out from near their own goal line. A real surprise from the Pumas. The charge from Matias Corral, the prop forward. The other prop forward, Noriega. And a little knock on by Creshell, the halfback.
Well, that's a superb period of football by Argentina. They've got the backs out wide to counter-attack, but when they ran out of numbers, they kept it tight, started driving the game and using their forwards. They're really playing well, and certainly I think Manu Samoa just to be slightly shaded at this point in the second spell.
Looks like number 16, George Laupepe, is coming onto the field. Now, George Hart has been limping a bit. We'll see whether, in fact, he is the player that is coming off. Tala Lisa Maivao, the hooker. Wonderful support from both of these sides. Argentina have the ascendancy at the moment, 23 points to 13. Manu Samoa have turned it over. Now Creshell to Sile. Starting to move the ball with a little more confidence now. Running into a very hard tackle, though.
Yes, it almost seems to have been a policy change at half-time by the Argentinian management. It's also as if they want to take on Manu Samoa out wide and use their backs. They believe they're 10 points in front, or certainly 13 points it was at half-time. Could have been enough of the cushion. We'll have to wait and see.
So George Laupepe has gone on to the left wing. George Harder is off. There is Laupepe. Another solid scrum. Santa Marina. Good tackling around the base of the scrum this time by Manu Samoa. Noriega. Not much support there, and the referee was playing advantage, and offside against the Western Samoan forward pack. And another opportunity here for Jose Sile. Well, there are some anxious faces in both camps. They realise the importance of this game. Well, that tells the tale after Argentina couldn't kick anything really against England. match that they dominated for long periods, and with any sort of decent goal kicker would have won. It's a bit wobbly, and that's the first miss for Jose Sile, much to the relief of the Western Samoan side. So it stays at 23 points to 13, and a rare miss for Jose Sile. Kellett unleashing a big one, or trying to. Mistake by Manu Samoa. Referee plays the advantage, and there is none. And now Argentina do have a golden opportunity. They'll once again pack their big solid scrum.
Yes, I think they'll certainly control. They'll probably try to drive at the middle, but being in the centre of the field, they can choose to go either way and put one extra man in than Manu Samoa can muster. I suspect they'll drive initially and perhaps go for the another 10 yards using the barger.
Well, just look at the possession in the second half. Argentina with close on 80% of possession, and this time the front row of the Pumas goes down. Referee Bishop has been telling them all day, I want the front row up.
Interesting decision that. You'd be hard pressed to think that the Puma front row, with the dominance they've got in the scrums, would have any reason whatsoever to collapse the scrum. It's one of those things that happens in rugby, and perhaps the laws need to be looked at, because it's certainly a fine point.
Yes, you couldn't imagine why an attacking side would want their scrum to go down.
No, not in that situation whatsoever.
But Dave Bishop has been saying keep the front rows up. They're too low for his liking. Thrown by the Asamoah Vau. Again, line-out position for Argentina. They've had all the ball to play with in the second half. Really, Manu Samoa have hardly been in the match. Here they go again. This time it's Pedro Sporleda. 10 out from the 22. Up to the next man, Federico Mendes, the youngster who played for Argentina at 17 years of age. They've made it to the 22. Noriega. Now they tap it on for Sile. Lovely little burst by Sile. Now they go again, Prechel. Martin. Manu Samoa having to do a lot of tackling in this game, and they've conceded another penalty, not allowing the ball to be released, and this should be routine 3 points for Jose Sile.
Well, it looks as if the question of conservative rugby versus instinctual rugby is going to be answered. The power and the control in the Argentinian pack is now starting to see a number of forced errors being pushed onto the Manu Samoa side, where they're desperately defending their line just to keep out the try. And it's in this situation you're going to suddenly put your hand down instinctually to stop the ball leaving to Argentina. So it looks at this point they're going to move out to 27-10, 27-13, and the pressure's now really on Manu Samoa. They have to spin it at every opportunity and live off the crumbs of possession which they get in the second half.
Sile bangs another one through. So that's 4 penalty goals for Jose Sile, and the score out now to 26 points to 13.
We've seen here that the referee's pulling them up for stopping the ball coming out.
Kellett kicks out for Manu Samoa. They've got to work out some way of getting the ball. They've had none of it so far in the second half. Very hard to combat the play of the big Puma forward pack. Back now for Sile, but a pressure on him. Not too efficient with his left boot. Kept in the field of play, Umaga. Manu Samoa trying to run it. Away for Tuvainga. Trying to find a replacement player, George Lau Pepe. They've turned it over. Snapped up by Christian Weil. Roland Martin. Creschel playing with all the confidence in the world, the Pumas. Back goes Pat Lam to tidy up. Kept in by Cuesta Silva. Now counter-attack from Argentina. They want to run with the ball in the second half too. Arbisu tapped down. Snapped up by Falanico. Referee playing an advantage. He knocked it on. And this will be a scrum. Well, we've seen a change of attitude too from the Pumas in the second half.
Yeah, definitely since half-time they decided they want to spin this and make it a more expansive game. We've seen they've got the ball players out there to do it. Their backs are looking very, very good, and they made a half break then, which was fortunately cut off by Vanga when he tapped it down. But certainly they've got the skills and the players to play as much as an open game as they do play a conservative game.
Good little burst by Arbisu. It was knocked down. It wasn't knocked on by the Pumas. Here we are back to the control. Nice mixture from Argentina today. The kick made by Sile. Not a good one though. And the tidy up from Mike Umanga. Enormous kick by Umanga.
Sensible move. Play the game as much as you can in the opposition's half, and certainly if the forced errors come, they're not going to be turned into points.
Yet another of the New Zealand-based players plays his rugby in Wellington, Mike Umanga.
It's difficult to know what to say to Manu Samoa at the moment. If you're on the field, what would you do? It's very, very difficult to win this game without that primary phase possession, and certainly Argentina's had all of that this second half.
The manager of the Western Samoan side, Tatasimi, kicked out by Arbisu. Oh, that's magnificent play by Weil. An opportunity there for Manu Samoa to get the ball. They squandered that opportunity. And now they've lost the ball forward. Well, there's enormous commitment in this Argentinian pack. They realised they're a bit hard done by the other day. They almost caused the first major upset of the tournament. Should have done. And the scrum screws. You know, Argentina have a long association with South African rugby, and they had their greatest ever victory here in 1982 when they beat South Africa in Bloemfontein. And of course, Hugo Porta, the great man of Argentinian rugby, is the Argentina ambassador to South Africa. So now here's an opportunity for Manu Samoa. They've got a scrum put in and an opportunity to run the ball through the backs. Taken off the bat by Lamb. Umanga's in. Lima. Danger signs here for Argentina. Brian Lima to the 22. This is the way they want to play it. Now Falanico. Lau Pepe's out there. Now Tuvainga. Good solid defence though from the Pumas. Cuesta Silva playing the ball on the grounds. You've got to be on your feet when you play the ball. The veteran Diego Cuesta Silva.
You'd have to say also those Argentinian forwards retiring there were well offside when they tried to interfere with the Manasseh backline move, but the referee let it go. This is in Kellett's range, and it'll bring them back to 16.
49th cap today for Diego Cuesta Silva. You can see him now. He comes scrambling along. Now you can't play the ball unless you're on your feet. And Cuesta Silva, Dr. Cuesta Silva, is penalised. Darren Kellett trying to keep Manu Samoa in touch. Good kick from Darren Kellett. His second penalty in the second half. That closes the gap up to 10 points. 26 points to 16.
Well, in the first half, we saw the game ebb and flow each way, and there was really no ascendancy from either side. But in the first 20 minutes of the second half, we've seen Argentina gradually get into ascendancy. Manu Samoa staying in touch with 2 penalties, but the feeling is that Argentina is on top at this point in time.
Ball lost forward. Jose Sile, the ace goal kicker for Argentina. The Argentinian side looking far more formidable than they were at the last World Cup in 1991 when they didn't win a game. Gallant with the kick. Ezekiel Chiraldo. And what good chasing from Mike Umanga. They want to take it quickly. Now Junior Paramore's not too happy about that. And the penalty is given, and rightly so too. Chiraldo got himself in a real mix-up there. There were 3 or 4 Western Samoan players, and they wanted to throw it quickly. And Chiraldo prevented them from doing so, and now Kellett has another chance.
Yes, I think that was a professional foul, and probably one which was reasonable to take at the distance that penalty is out. But certainly you can't stop the opposition throwing the ball in quickly. Junior Paramore a little bit vigorous, lucky he didn't get a warning there. Not really necessary, I think. I think the referee would pick it up prior to that movement. You'd have to say too that both sides have played with tremendous discipline today. There's been no stupid rucking incidents or ill-disciplined behaviour on the field by either of the forward packs, and what must be a very physical and aggressive encounter out there.
That's another one. 26 points to 19. So Western Samoa now back within the 7-point range. Bisu. Again, the high dropout. Manu Samoa haven't been too good at these kick-outs so far. Again, they concede it. Ball on the ground, so it'll be Argentina's ball. Laurie, they seem to have a lot more commitment, the Pumas, from the kickoffs.
Yes, definitely. They're getting there in numbers, and they're really hitting the Manu Samoas with some big hits, which we would typically see the Manu Samoa side doing to the Argentinian side. So they really are taking to it at this point.
Santa Marina. Grishel charged. Oh, what a tackle from Lau Pepe. The Western Samoans were famous at the last World Cup for their tackling. And this time the ball is off the ground, and it'll be Samoan ball to the scrum. Seven-point margin between these two sides. Just the 2 tries scored in the match, 1 a penalty try. Kellett. Chiraldo. Not finding touch. Opposite number, Mike Umanga. But Umanga is not able to keep it in the field of play.
Well, Kellett's definitely had some instructions from Vi Williams at half-time not to spin the ball basically in his own half. And we've seen him now kick 4 times. I think they're sensible kicks, the wipers and the bombs. One of them didn't come off, but certainly they're getting Manu Samoa out of the red zone into the opposition half.
Giannis at 2, 5 is Sporlather. They've won all the ball. Look at that, Giannis again. Ball went to ground there for a moment, came back. Mendes has it. Superb upper body strength, these Puma forwards. Now Mendes, good acceleration, support from Santa Marina. Now Noriega, Sporlather, 22 just to the right, 5 metres out. And it's gone to ground. Superb forward play again. And referee has got to Nu'u Aliatia for throwing the ball. Well, frustration, no doubt, amongst the Western Samoan players.
Yes, but, you know, there's great commitment from both forwards packs here. We saw superb driving by Argentina and superb defence by Mana Samoa. They're diving in, they're not giving up, they're trying to rip the ball off, and I'm not quite sure what went wrong there for the Mana Samoan halfback, but it was certainly an unnecessary thing to do in front of the sticks.
Well, silly thing to do by Nu'u Aliatia, man who was the understudy at the last World Cup to Matthew Vaya. Well, it would seem that one or two of the Puma players able to converse with Dave Bishop. Certainly the captain, Sebastian Salvat, can. So this is a crucial kick for Jose Sile, because at the moment his side are just 7 points ahead as Shem Tutupu goes back. It's been hard yakka, as they say in New Zealand, for the Western Samoan forwards today. Well, that's a bad miss by Jose Sile. So it stays at 26 points to 19. Down for Chiratho. Oh, he's overcooked that, has he? No, he's judged it well. Well, he's had his moments today. The new fullback, if you like, for Argentina, Ezekiel Chiratho. But that was a very good kick indeed.
Certainly seems to be much more wind in the second half than we noticed in the first half, and that kick was taken right over to the corner flag from outside the left-hand upright, so certainly blowing hard from the left to the right.
Manu Samoa have the ball. Kellett. Everybody turns and looks at the referee, but the ball in fact is in touch. Possession is precious for Western Samoa. Peter Fatialopa. Right, Kellett. Kick forcing Argentina right back to a position where they have to restart from the 22.
Well, obviously this has been a definite tactical change by Ryan Williams at half-time, and in the first half we would have seen Manu Samoa spin that wide and check the defensive capabilities of the Argentinian three-quarters, but now each ball he's getting, he's plunging deep into Argentinian territory with the idea of putting pressure on them, getting out of their 25, out of their 22.
Abisu. Ball holding up in the breeze. Manu Samoa have it. Tim Tutupu. Well, it's another penalty. Pat Lam immediately signals towards the posts. He wants Darren Kellett to try and reduce the deficit even more. Rolando Martin goes back. Well, it's on the easier side of the field, if you like, for the left-footed kicker, Darren Kellett. He's kicked 4 penalties and a conversion in this match so far. Good drive by Shem Tutupu, and you can see the Argentinian player lying all over the top of Tutupu. Beautifully judged. A 4th second half penalty for Darren Kellett, and it's getting very tense in East London. It's 26 points to 22. Well,
this game's living up to everything we thought it would do. It's going to be one of the closest games, and in the whole World Cup, and certainly I still wouldn't like to pick it at this point in time.
Manu Samoa, they need to collect the ball. They've got it through Pat Lam. Looking for Kellett to clear. Tremendous distance from Darren Kellett. Ezekiel Chirafo. Well, that's no good. It's out, but it's only a matter of 5 metres outside the 22. Just starting to look a little flustered now, the Pumas.
Yeah, and I think Manu Samoa will go back to the original expansive game. They've got nothing to lose. They're 4 points behind with 6 minutes to go. They've got to run it at them. They're probably the better side at running it. They just have to secure that primary phase possession.
Good control on this occasion from Manu Samoa. They haven't always been able to do that. You can see the player holding his head there in the maul. Could have been Sporlader, I think. No, in fact, it's Giannis. Play continues. The Asamai Vow. 10 metres out from the 22. Manu Samoa really starting to crack it on here. Paramore. Junior Paramore. Laupepe. George Laupepe. Manu Samoa in front.
Well, what can you say? They had a ball, they took it. Paramore's having a great game. He broke through the first line of defence. Argentina a bit guilty of not having some cover defence across there. He pushed it wide, and Manu Samoa moved in the front.
Have a look at Junior Paramore. He's had quite an outstanding game. The tackle was missed by Vial. Laupepe had a bit of work to do inside the fullback. Despairing tackle, try scored.
Up to Paramore again. He has the skills of the three-quarter. He's fast, very agile on his feet.
George Laupepe, the replacement player for George Harder. And Manu Samoa, who looked down and out 15 minutes ago, are now in front. Not this time from Darren Kellett. 27 points to 26. Try scored by George Laupepe. 4 minutes left in this game. Another look at the brilliant run of Junior Paramore, and then an excellent pass. Laupepe inside the fullback, and the try scored.
Well, this is where discipline and pressure will count. If Manu Samoa must play it out of their half, get it down there and keep the ball down there. They need now to slow the game down and play the conservative game that Argentina's been playing up to now.
Remarkable turnaround in this game. Tremendous din in the stadium now. I think it's fair to say the crowd support is with Manu Samoa. Tala Lisa Maivao. Shemta Tupu's gone up close in the line out. Kellett. The big tester for Chirafo. They're coming on him. What a brave mark from the fullback. It's got to be taken by the player that caught it. Now they start to shift it. Desperation now for Argentina. Behind by 1. Loose ball. Paramore, Pat Lam. Lam gets it. That should be enough to get Western Samoa into the quarterfinals of the World Cup. There he is. Pat Lam stretches and just gets it over, much to the delight of his teammates.
See exactly what happens when you have to run it in the red zone to try and make up or play catch-up rugby. Manu Samoa are guilty of it in their game against Italy, and now Argentina suffer from the same problem. When the ball breaks down, you have no margin of error whatsoever. Good opposition pounce on it, 7 points or 5 points.
Once again, Laurie, the pass, the man who made the final pass, Junior Paramore. What an outstanding performance from him today.
Yes, and I'd love to see the final statistics in the loose, and I'm certain that Manu Samoa have dominated there almost by 2-1. But it's interesting, Lisbo, that in the first half we saw that expensive game of Manu Samoa against the Conservative game, and at halftime we saw the teams turn around. We saw Kellett kicking every ball he got, and we saw Argentina starting to run the ball at Manu Samoa. And in the second half, from a 10-point deficit, Manu Samoa have come back and now 5 to 7 points in front.
New goal kicker, Mike Umanga. At the moment, there's a 6-point margin. This remains an important kick. Hit the post. Manu Samoa lead by 6. The try scored by Pat Lam. 32 points to 26. Argentina can still win it with a converted try.
Well, this has to be one of the great games of this tournament.
Super game it's been. 3 tries to 1. Well, it's a penalty. No time to kick for goal. Man injured for Manu Samoa. They carry on. Bile. Now down the blind side. Good charge by Sporlather. Here it is again for Noriega. Desperate defence here from Western Samoa. Handed back again. Now Mendes. Next man up is Sporlather again. Ball left on the ground. Preschel. Vile. Tackles being made. Now Martin. Sets it again. Tremendous wave from the Argentinian forward. Another penalty. Not over yet. Well, now this might be the old flying wedge. Remember, this worked against England, and Noriega got a try.
This time they're about 10 metres out. Last time they were 5 metres out. No, they're taking the barger. They're going to take the pushover scrum. This must be the last play of the game.
6-point ball game. Argentina can still win it. The big scrum.
Certainly Manu Samoa don't need another penalty try.
Still controlling it. Still there. And they've spun it through 90 degrees. They'll get another shot at it. And it's all over. Manu Samoa are through to the quarterfinals for the second World Cup in a row. Great delight. Well, it's been a tough afternoon for both sides. But really, what a sensational comeback in the last 10 minutes of the game.
Yes, well, again, we had the two opposing styles. The first half really dominated by the conservative, orthodox approach of Argentina, with Manu Samoa running it at everything, running from the 25, running from behind the goal line if they had to, not even kicking out when they were under tremendous pressure. At the second half, we saw the tactics turn around totally. Brian Williams must have said, you play out of your half, and Kellett kicked every ball deep into Argentinian territory. And from those positions, Manu Samoa then created 2 tries. Argentina, on the other hand, ran it wide and pushed it, made the expected game in the second half. So we saw a great game, probably one of the great games of this World Cup, and I think Manu Samoa has every right to be very, very proud of their victory.
Well, they're about to go and salute the crowd. They were so famous for doing this in Britain in 1991. On that occasion 4 years ago, it's fair to say they were the most popular team at the tournament. And again, just acknowledging the support, and it's been great too from the crowd at the Basil Kenyon Stadium in East London. But you have to spare a thought too for the Pumas. They put so much into the game, but in the end, it was Manu Samoa. We did talk early in the game, Laurie, about how would the Pumas survive the last 20 minutes after all the running early in the match. And I think the answer probably is they didn't quite make it.
Yes, but remember we said at the beginning of the game, Nisbet, that this was a game you couldn't call. It could go either way. It was going to be extremely tight, and it was going to depend on forced errors and goal kicks being taken. And that's exactly how it turned out. And Manu Samoa, they dominated the tight, both the scrums and the lineouts. Argentina dominated the tight, both the scrums and the lineouts, and Manu Samoa totally dominated the loose and the wide open play. And it was an exquisite game of rugby, two different philosophies and style of rugby. And it was a great game, and it was certainly a pleasure to watch it.
And now the popular chant, Manu Samoa.
Freshman then.
Taken this from just inside the 22, and finally referee Bishop has blown the whistle, and it will be Western Samoan ball. The ball was not on the ground, it was held up. The ball became stationary, and Western Samoa get the put in.
Well, I anticipate we'll see a lot of that from Argentina today. That's good structured international football. Keep it tight, drag in the teams that tend to be bubbly sides and bustling sides, keep them tight, drive up the middle, and ultimately the forced errors will arrive and the points will get onto the board.
Noriega on the far side, Mendez Corral, the tough man of the Argentinian front row. Well, there's not much in it in terms of pack weights. It really is a question of technique.
I'd have to question the weights we've been shown. There seems to be some difference from the program. I think the Manu Samoan pack is in fact about 20 kilos heavier than the Argentinian pack.
George Latu on the side of the scrum for Western Samoa. Referee Bishop has penalised Argentina, and that will be a considerable relief to Manu Samoa. Peter Schuster there to the left, the man who has guided the Western Samoan fortunes since 1990 as Darren Kellett makes the clearing kick. Not such a good kick, but safely into touch nonetheless, and all the early pressure coming from the Pumas.
Right, well, we've got a Manu Samoa throw in, and they're going to have to throw it to the front. They can't afford to throw it at the back inside their 25.
Mike Meeker jumping at the front of the line-out for Western Samoa. Didn't go 5 metres, though. And so the Pumas have the scrum 15 metres infield. No score in the game so far. George Latu against Matias Corral. Rodrigo Frechel is the halfback for Argentina.
Well, these are classic scoring opportunities. A good international side will score 50% of the time when given the put in on a scrum 15 metres from the opposition line.
Another good scrum here from Argentina. Holding it in the back was the number 8 forward Santa Marina, but the scrum started to screw and the referee obliged to reset it. Well, it's not surprising here that the Pumas are taking Manu Samoa on in the scrums. The number 8 forward Santa Marina. Again, it starts to screw. Nu'u Aliatia is the halfback for Western Samoa, still held by Santa Marina. And once again, it's screwed. Well, this is tough physical stuff in the first 3 or 4 minutes of this game.
It's conservative football, but it's the football that's going to win you international rugby and even the World Cup. In fact, today we're going to see a major challenge. Which is the better rugby? Does the expansive rugby win you these games or the conservative football? I think today's result will tell us that answer.
Right, the shove is on again. Scrum has gone down, and the referee Dave Bishop says that it was pulled down by the Western Samoan front row, and so here's the first penalty opportunity of the match. Some discussion here. They're going to go for another scrum, perhaps. Well, goodness me, that's a very brave decision by Sebastian Selbat, because the penalty was given and in a very handy position. The 3 points were there for the taking, And it looks to me as though Argentina have decided to go for the scrum, as they're entitled to do.
Yes, I think they must feel they must dominate this very fiery and aggressive Manu Samoa pack by pulling them in tight and keeping them tight, because it is the sort of side which bustles and puts pressure on you. If they can get points on the board, Manu Samoa are a confident side. They live off it. They play better when they're in front. So Argentina know this. They're tightening the game up. They're going to keep it tight, and they're going to stay down here. And we'll see them scrum and scrum and scrum all day, because that's their strength. The strength of the Manu Samoa side is their speedy three-quarters. We know that. So obviously Argentina is taking the correct option here.
So this is the fourth scrum in a row that Western Samoa have had to defend their line. Big shove again. Santa Marina is the number 8 forward. Western Samoa buckle. Ball will have to be released shortly, and they'll get another scrum. Well, they've taken it up now to within a couple of metres of the line. Bit of a scuffle in the front row. Tension there already. Shem Tatupu there pointing at one of the Puma players. Well, a tense opening to this game with Manu Samoa having to defend.
It's a perfect opening for Argentina. They'll hold it here and they'll drive. They're going to play conservative rugby all day.
You can see there the scrum had collapsed, and there was no way they could keep on pushing. Now, one of the Western Samoan players has received an injury.
I thought I saw a bit of stomping on the side. I'm just surprised the line umpire didn't see that as well and come on and make a point. It just...
And boosted the scrum by bringing in George Latu. Pat Lam will captain Western Samoa this afternoon. The Western Samoan challenge always well received by the big crowd at the Basil Kenyon Stadium in East London. And a special welcome, of course, as we once again check the Western Samoan to the good people in Western Samoa. It'll be the middle of the night over there. Here are the men that are going to try and do the job for you today. Pat Lam captaining the side. And, of course, we look to the back three there. Mike Umanga, Brian Lima and George Harder. They were in quite outstanding form in the match against Italy the other day. George Latu comes in to replace Peter Fatialofa. And the Argentinian selection panel have rushed their best goal kicker, Jose Sile, into the side after the woes against England. This means that Lisandro Arbizu moves into the centres. And not surprisingly, the pack which for so long dominated England remains intact. In fact, Peter Schuster, the Western Samoan coach, reckons it's the best scrum at the Rugby World Cup. A look there at the replacements for both sides, and look down at the bottom of Western Samoa, their captain at the Rugby World Cup, number 21, Peter Fatialofa, sitting in the grandstand for this match. Well, some final thoughts on the match from former All Black Laurie Knight.
Well, I think we're going to see the Argentinian pack out-scrumming the Manu Samoan pack. They're 20 kilograms lighter, I make it, in the pack than Manu Samoa, which is about the same difference in weight they had with the English pack. But they succeeded quite easily in out-scrumming the English pack, and I'd have to agree with George Schuster. I think they are the best scrumming pack in the World Cup. Perhaps not line-out pack, but certainly scrumming pack.
Referee for the match is Dave Bishop from New Zealand. Not from Wales, as it says there. Dave Bishop from New Zealand, and assisted by Colin Hawke, also from New Zealand, and Joel Dumais from France. So away we go then in this Pool B match between Argentina and Western Samoa, and taken immediately by George Harder, and Darren Kellett drills it for the touchline. And we go to the first set piece of the game. Now this is going to be the interesting part, the lineouts and the scrums. We know how good Argentina are in the scrums. Let's have a look at the first lineout of the match. Well, Argentina get it easily, just over the 5-metre line and no more. Just 20 metres out from the from the Western Samoan line. And this is the Puma pack at its best. And Western Samoa will find it difficult to combat. Just 10, 12 metres out. Just look at this strength and commitment from the Pumas. Once again, trying to maul it away to the right.